Okay, let's look at how to edit the individual walls. We kind of went over the rules in the type properties in the last video, but if you need to make edits to a wall or create your own unique kind of situation, you can do it manually, if you will. So what I did, I just moved this one over a little further. And if I go to my architecture tab, and let's apply grids, okay? And you can see it there, it'll tell you your stuff. And it's like curtain grid edge line. So I picked the vertical line there, and it's showing me where a horizontal grid line would go. And I've got the distances there, and I can edit these distances, not a problem. If I pick the bottom or the top edge, I can put them in there. And then I can come in here and I can edit that distance. So let's say I want that one to be 3 feet. This one I want to be 6 feet. Oh. And, it takes a little tabbing to get, there we go. And so I can edit those particular sizes. We'll say 7 feet on that one. I'll say 4 feet. Okay, so that gives me, I'm creating a grid and individual panels, okay? And so now if I want to add mullions to that, I can come here, mullion, and of course pick my size. I can go put them on a grid line. Okay, so we'll say that grid line, see it, put it all the way across. I could say a grid line segment, which would be just individual segments of a grid line. Okay, and let me back out of all of those. Or I could choose all grid lines and then just choose my wall, and there it is. Okay, so several different ways of dealing with that. Or I can do this if I have this is quite complicated beyond what we're going to do, but if you have masked a model into a weird shape like what it shows there, you can create a curtain wall system on a face of that. A little bit more extreme than what we're going to do. Now, we can come in here and we can edit, I don't know, maybe we want, I don't know, some of those examples we saw, some of the vertical panels were solid, so we could select all of these 3 panels and change the panels over to a solid instead of glazing. Or we could edit, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I could take that individual mullion out. I can take out an individual panel. No, it's not letting me delete that particular panel. Why is that, I wonder? Okay, let me try one more thing here. Didn't want to do that. I'm trying to join those two panels together. Maybe it's the grid line. I don't know. I'll deal with it. Okay. Anyway, we've kind of gone over the rules. We've added grids. We can manipulate grids. We've added some mullions. And if I were to, now that I've got a wall, whether I've built it here or it's my storefront, if I go to add more grid, if I want to add a grid all the way across, when I come in here, I get snaps, and these snaps go to, like, we can snap to the midpoint, or usually it's like to the thirds and the halves of the existing panel, and then you can kind of drag and get other things. Okay, and those are that. So I'm kind of done with this file. I gave you a file to download, and I'd like for you to open that now, and let's look at it here in level 1. If we go to our 3D view, you can see we've got two different wall segments. This one has a profile edit with an opening, okay? This one is just a solid wall. And so back to here, and what we're going to do is we're going to place curtain walls inside these. We're going to embed a curtain wall into it. And so let's start with our storefront type, since it has these things already set up, and we want to make the top of it up to level 2. So we're going to constrain the height of it. We could do level 2, or we could get a distance if we wanted. It's just this particular wall opening was edited up to level 2. Okay. Look across up here. There is no location line for curtain walls because there are no layers. There's no core, if you will. We can have a chain. We can have an offset. All these different things up here, the options. Okay. Now, since this wall was drawn exterior facing down, I want to start on the right and drag to the left. So if I move in here, I have options of where I want to start it. So let's just start it with the center line of the wall. And you can notice the offset for drawing this storefront is not in the glass, okay, because the glass is not centered in the actual framing. Okay, so that put my storefront framing centered in this wall, but I may not want it centered in the wall because there needs to be coverage over the brick space here. So you can't just, you have to move it. And so what we have to do is we have to select the wall, and we'll choose our move command, choose a base point there, and we want to pull it down, we'll say 2 inches. Okay. Now, if it doesn't move, it's because it's joined and it's joined to the walls, okay? So you may have to unlock it, unpin it, something along those lines, unjoin it. And, I thought there was a button down here that would allow you to unpin it. But that's how you move one in and out on a wall system. Okay, so let's look at our 3D view. So you can see what it did here. Now the rule on this wall my grid, vertical grids have a max spacing of 5 feet. Okay. And the horizontal grids, the height of it, has a fixed distance of 8 feet. So that means this first one here is 8 feet tall, and then whatever is remaining is what's remaining. I think it's like 2 feet. Okay. Now, one thing about this one is, if you look here, automatically embed is checked, meaning it will embed itself into an existing wall. But what we have here is not really an embedded situation because we had an opening there. So let's go back to our floor plan and come over to this wall. And let's go with storefront again. And I'm going to go ahead and pick, center wall there. Let's start at like 8 feet. It doesn't matter what you choose. And I'm going to go 16 feet. Okay, and we got start at level 1 up to level 2. And now you can see it's embedded itself into that wall, meaning it cut out the brick wall and put itself in its place. Oh, I was looking at the other one. There we go. Okay, same kind of situation. It made an opening in the wall for itself. Now, if this wall, which this will be similar to your project, okay, so you can see my storefront wall is still at level 0, but the bottom of my brick wall is 1 foot down. Okay, and so that's how we would embed walls, and we can play with the lengths or the heights of these, because this one, like the one in your project, is going to have a door in the middle, and what you got to do is you will have to adjust things. I'll tell you one thing that we are going to have to adjust right here is our join conditions. And I'm going to make them border and vertical continuous, because I think that's the most common method of doing things in the business. Okay. Now, in the one in your project, there's additional mullions across here. So I want to add a mullion. What's happening here? Maybe it doesn't like doing it in 3D. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me select the window first. Oh, I need a grid line first. Need a curtain grid first. Okay, so I'm going to go one segment at 2'8". Well, I thought it was going to be 2'8". We'll align it here in a minute. Man, this thing is a lot. I didn't like that because there. So I guess placing one, yeah, it did it all the way across. So now I should be able to go with a mullion. Well, I thought I could. Okay. What I'm doing here is I'm prepping it for a door. Okay. So in your project, you've got a similar situation like this. Okay. And let's see, what is my height on that? $2 feet down, it's 8 feet tall. Because I think our door is supposed to be like 7 feet tall. So let me just pull a measurement here. That's close to 7 feet. So you'll figure that out as you're doing it. What you want to do is you have to take out the sill plate at the bottom, and then a door that took out my panels. Oh, there's a panel. Okay. A storefront door is a door, but it's not a door. So you don't go to the door command to add a storefront door. We have to load it first. And in order to load it, we'll go to Insert, Load Family. And it is in the doors, and it's right here. Curtain wall, a double glass, a storefront, or a single glass. Okay, meaning that the storefront has aluminum framing, the other two are just glass. Okay. So now it's loaded into my project. What I do is I select my panel here, and as you're working your project and you're developing this one front wall that has the door in it, you need to get your door opening mullions the right size before you start adding in the additional mullions across that you're going to need, because you want one big panel there that you're going to replace. And so I select the panel and unpin it and come over here and choose my double curtain wall door. Now, this was a 3-foot opening, so it made the door, 3'9" wide for the total, which is, in our case, I think it's supposed to be like 6 feet. So we could modify that. Okay. And so that's pretty much how you add a door. Now, the doors can have, you can adjust the swing angle on it, and that's just in plan view. Edit type, you can change your colors, your materials, the offset off of it. I don't think we need to change it offset, but that's how we can make those changes. So and there's how it looks on a floor plan. And remember, exterior commercial doors have to open to the outside. Okay, that's normal. So that's how we place doors. Is there anything else I need to cover? I covered those. Mullion joins. One of the things that you do need to consider is that when if you have rules applied in your type, that will create your basis. And then when you add something else, like we added this row of mullions here, that overrides the rules. So even if I come in here and change my rules, it may not change that middle mullion going across there. So you have to think on some of those things, okay? And it's just a learning experience where you kind of play with it and go through with it. So that's a tutorial on doing curtain walls. And it's a lot more in-depth than what I'm able to teach you because of our time constraint. But if you do go to work someplace, you want to learn more about curtain walls, there are a lot of resources on the internet, the Revit pure website. Has lots of tutorials that you could certainly look at. The Revit Kid has some on there. Those are a couple in the links that I have used in the past, and I like the way that they do things. And if you got questions, send us an email, come see us, okay?